Yo, what's up guys? So today I'm coming at you with something a little different. So I've done this in the past, a where to build, why to build, how to build, all these types of things. And I'm going to be going more in detail about where you should build and why you should build there. If you are a veteran, maybe this will help speed up your efficiency with things. Just getting through the process faster to get to the point where you want to be at, especially early on in the wipe. So I have this set up pretty easily here. This is a map. It's got all the monuments listed here. These things right here are the caves. It's a little pixelated when I zoom in, but this is the caves. You can see like satellite dish and dome or whatever. So just so you guys know what these are, this is the mining outpost. These little weird things are for where water locations are at. And then things like this, I'm assuming, are like supermarkets and gas stations and stuff, but I'm not sure exactly. This is from beancan.io. Yeah, so I'm just assuming that these are the abandoned supermarkets and gas stations, and that these are like little mining outposts or whatever. And then over here is like the quarries. So that should be pretty much everything that you guys need to know to keep up to speed. And I do have some things labeled. So first off, we're going to take a look at spawns. So I laid out some areas where, which I think would be like normal spawns on here. These two being really rare, these being the second rarest, and these being the most common. So, with taking this into consideration, if you're bad at PvP, you might want to kill yourself if you're starting on a wipe day until you get some of these more rare areas, so that you have less competition and you can work your way towards where you want to go. And then you also need to take into consideration all of the cards. So we'll keep both of these on. So if your first mission is to just do card monuments right away, like you dominated this area and you want to work your way over to get a green card, and you find a fuse along the way and you want to get a blue card and do the monuments or whatever, keep in mind where they're at if you're going to build near them. So your starter base doesn't have to necessarily be where your main base is because of minicopters and boats and such, but keeping in mind where the cards are at is nice. So like an area like this right here would be a prime location, because we have water treatment up here where you can get the red card. We have a supermarket and a lighthouse where you can get the green card and a blue card from the harbor over here. And then you could just heli over to launch site or military tunnels. So if you plan on doing a lot of card monuments, make sure that you're near an area where you can easily access all three of them. In case you die, lose all your cards, you'll be able to get them back relatively quickly. And if they're not there, you can come back later relatively quickly as well. Also, if you are going to be boating around the map, maybe consider building near the edge on a rare spawn area. Especially on this type of map right here, the whole top right corner is snow. So you're probably not going to spawn over there. If a map does have a snow biome spawn, that is probably one of the rarest spawns. And also, there are no mini monuments out there, no barrels, nothing on the snow side. So if you're going to be boating around a lot, probably over on the desert side over here would be a good place to build for boating. And you could just run down the road or boat over to the outpost, which is what this thing is right here with the blue card above it. You'd be able to live over here by the rivers and whatever, boat over to the outpost, get the blue card, go straight to the red card, skip the whole green card if you wanted to. But do keep in mind places like military tunnels are going to be highly trafficked by clans. So and then islands like this are going to be focused because you're out and away from everybody. So just knowing bad places to build is probably better than knowing good places to build. So if you see there's a big clan over by military tunnels, maybe consider building on the other side of the island near the other rare spawn points so you can access all of the cards that you need, and also boat around without having a ton of people spawn near your base. So by boating around, this is a very safe way, as I've said plenty of times throughout multiple videos on my channel. It's a very safe way to gather components and scrap. And living near the edge where you can boat to outposts without having to find a helicopter is a lot more efficient than running across the map to try to find helis, which usually will spawn near outpost, and they have pretty tight spawn points, but they do always spawn in the same spot. So once you do find a heli location, you can come back to it. If the heli gets taken, wait for one to be destroyed and check the heli locations that you are aware of, and maybe build yourself a little heli base up here and a boat base in a rare spawn point area, so that you can heli all the way over to something like launch site once you get the red card and green card, and then also be able to boat to outpost so that you don't lose your heli, because you'll be able to hide your boat in a bush or something over here and then take it back home once you need to. So let's just say that we would build somewhere up here for our starter base. I would consider this the snow biome for solos, and I would consider the desert biome for clans, or maybe even somewhere near like an area like this where the large forests are at, so you can have access to a lot of wood, and near places like this mountain right here, or these ridges over here is where tons of nodes are going to be if you don't know how those spawn. So keeping in mind where nodes and trees are going to be as a clan is necessary, but also as a solo. I don't really farm wood as a solo, I farm nodes, and then I go to outpost and trade it for wood. So I would usually build somewhere near a ton of nodes in the snow biome. And up here, not a lot of people are probably going to build up here because it's really far out of the way. There's a ton of ice in the water, so you can't really boat through here. But maybe building like right here and having a boat base like over here wouldn't be too bad, or maybe a boat base a little closer. So let's turn off the spawns so it's a little easier on our eyes. So from here we could take a boat over to here, and if we lose our boat, all we have to do is hop across these icicles all the way to over here, and you'll be able to find a boat. You'll just have to find a path where you can cross in this specific situation. But if this like type of thing didn't exist, you would build your starter base like over here somewhere, you know? It just depends on the map. But let's say right here is an ideal spot for your starter base. You can just boat over, get your cards, boat back, and you'll be relatively safe. Farm up a ton of nodes, boat all the way over to outpost, get your wood, boat back, also maybe get some low grade, whatever, and now you're good to go. You can start saving up for your main base, which is completely up to you. Main base should be built somewhere away from clans, not in a very densely populated area. And on this map, we have the launch site right here. We have the military tunnels over here. The outpost is over here. I'm assuming this is bandit camp. It's not marked. And what this means is that this part of the map is going to be highly trafficked by clans, and this area is going to be highly trafficked by solo players and small groups and clans looking to mass craft things like walls. Some clans will go and mass craft things by buying them from the vending machines, or they'll go over there to buy tons of auto turrets, stamp sites, whatever. And also the heli spawns are going to have a lot of people building near them as well. And then up over by launch site is going to be very populated. I would assume right on this lake is where a clan would build. So maybe building your main base somewhere over here, or like right here would be okay, but also don't forget where the spawn points are at. So over here is fine. We're far enough away from the main spawn points that people might not come up here. If you're afraid of that, maybe go inland a little bit right next to this cave. But then keep in mind you're right next to water treatment, which is a super highly trafficked location, and Dome is not that far away down here with Train Yard, and there's going to be a huge clan right here. So maybe somewhere over here would be good as well, but you don't want to live in the snow. This island right here is probably going to be taken over by a clan, because that's just how it goes. So probably up over here would be one of the most ideal locations. And maybe even just build it where your starter base was in this specific situation. But one sneaky thing you could do is figure out where clans have built, where people have built, and then track them and figure out what their pathing is to go to monuments and just build out of the way. So if there's a huge clan over here by Satellite Dish and Train Yard, and there's a huge clan right here, but they never go to water treatment, or they just don't come behind this mountain over here, maybe building your main base behind this mountain would be a good place to start at. Because up over here, nobody's really ever going to come over here, and if they do, it's going to be for oil rig. So just keep in mind where oil rigs are at as well, so heli pilots don't fly over your base. But for me, I would probably build over here, somewhere along the road, which is right here. It's hard to see, but there's a road right here. I would probably go off into the woods over here, or up right here in the forest, and build my main base in a semi-flat area. I wouldn't want to build on this island because anybody boating by would be able to see me. So I would either boat my my stuff from my starter over to main base, or I would fly a heli over there, like boating over to outpost and then taking the road, getting a heli, flying back. And if you are one of those people that wants to build a trap base, things to just keep in mind are highly trafficked monuments that are not launch site and military tunnels, because those are highly trafficked by clans, and you wouldn't really want to trap a clan. Unless you do, then just build near one of those monuments and you'll have to wait a long time. But if you want some high speed trap base action, build near places like junkyard, dome, water treatment, things like that, outposts. So in this particular map, we have dome, junkyard, and outpost are all near each other with a road connecting them. So maybe building your trap base like right here would be a good location if that is something that you're interested in doing. So recapping all of this, I know it's a lot to take in with all these images everywhere, but we can start it off again going from the top, and I will summarize everything in a quick little recap for you. So from spawn, I would try to I would just spawn in a normal location, unless you're really bad at PvP and you just want to farm for a starter. I would spawn in one of these normal locations that you're probably going to spawn in like 70% of the time. I would run straight to outpost. I'll just grab the starter base icon and we will use that so you guys can see a little better. So let's say we spawn right here. I'm just going to run collecting cloth all the way to outpost. I'll collect 2 stone nodes and 2 trees if possible, so I can craft tools. And then I will just stay at outpost, try to farm around it if there's any nodes or anything. And then I will start taking the road inland, and then right about here, if you're on wipe day, there's probably not going to be a lot of competition. I would try to get myself a bow by now, or a weapon or tool from the road. Going up into here, now I would be farming a bit of nodes. If I got a ton of stone, like 5,000-6,000 stone, I would go back to outpost real quick and get myself some wood. If not, I would just farm 1 tree and then run about a square, farm another tree until I get to the location that I want to build in. If I have clothes, I'll do a monument that's far away from spawn points, and then I will build my starter base. And then after that, the tactic is up to you, whether or not you want to do cards, whether or not you want to get components from boating around. It's completely up to you. And then probably on like day 2 or 3 into wipe, I would start building main, and then like day 5 or 6 into a 2 wipe, or a 2-week wipe, like day 5 to 6, I would transfer my loot to my main base once it's fully built. And then after that, just start raiding if I got satchels from farming components, or focusing on doing keycard monuments to try and get those explosives. And then at that point, it's really up to whatever you want to do. You want to start a shop, you want to just raid, things like that. You want to go deep on a clan, so at that point it's up to you. But this is how I would go about building from spawn to main, and why I would build there. So here I'm building here because I would have access to boats if I fail at doing monuments, and I would be able to access outposts with a boat from here, and also obtain a heli near it if I saw that there's a spawn point near outpost. So this is just what we're assuming. This map is like, you would need to take a little bit of time to figure out all of these things for sure. But yeah, so that's why I would build up in this area. Easy access to water, easy access to cards, easy access to outpost, and easy access to helis. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and I'll catch you in the next one.